I want to explain a tip on these cheap Craftsman rollaways on the rollers, the casters. But anyway, they just bolt down to sheet metal. The sheet metal flexes, and when you get weight in the box, it bends the sheet metal. And you'll notice when you're rolling your box, the wheels just don't seem to roll right. They seem like they're tipped, and the box can't take very much weight. And eventually that sheet metal, I wish I would have took a picture before I put this board on, but the sheet metal bends in and it will fatigue. It will fatigue like here and break through. And so this is standard procedure on these boxes. You take a board and put it on there and get some real screws, because the cheap ones, they're cheap, they're from Taiwan, they don't stay tight, they come loose. The washers aren't right. They're terrible. Take those out, throw them away. Take a board, drill the holes, and then bolt down good and solid on that board. Now this box will take a whole lot of tonnage because it's pushing against the board, not the sheet metal. But it's a common trick, and I don't think a lot of people take the time to do it. These casters I robbed off of a Cobalt box. So invest the time, put the board on there, put some real hardware on there with lock washers, proper washers. You'll have a good rollaway that rolls, and the wheels will be perfect. See, now during assembly in China, see this metal flange and the bolts are under there? They can't reach in there and put them things on. So they just don't do it. You ever notice your wheels come loose and the bolts are always seem to be loose and there's a couple missing that have fallen out? That's why. These are just barely thrown on. So this fix, you have to do it. You have to do it when the box is empty, otherwise you're going to have to unload everything and do it after the box is full. You got to do it right. They're just barely throwing stuff together in those assembly plants. That's why these things are so cheap. See this flimsy sheet metal on the bottom? I don't know if you can see it flex, but that's with the board. You should have seen it before. You can't bolt casters to that. See, now this one has that goofy design on the top, that hidden stuff, and so I made this, I sawed up some boards and put a piece of Delrin on top and fit it on there so that it sets firmly, pushes down here and there so that it doesn't crush the box. Now this Delrin, there's my workbench as I roll around. The Delrin slides. You could put an engine block on there, and with the way the wheels are set up like I just did, this will take unlimited weight and the wheels will stay rolling perfect permanently. You've got to do those wheels right when you get the box. Now I'm going to put the bottom drawer back in. I bought this box from a physicist in Portland, Oregon. See, now I can put several hundred pounds of weight in there. Use this as a workbench even for rolling stuff around the shop. Real heavy stuff. Engine heads, the works. The wheels, the box will not even detect the weight because of the board, the good casters. You won't even be able to tell it has weight on it. It'll go just like this, even with 400 or 500 pounds in it. You know, the top, I'm a firm believer. You know how on the top of rollaways there's that lip that goes around it? Well, you can't set nothing on it. You can't set anything across it. And so on other boxes that I've had, when I have this situation, I also put a piece of wood and a piece of Delrin, double back tape Delrin, stuck onto the top so that I have a flat surface that I can lay stuff across. Also on the casters, the expensive boxes like Kennedy Machinist rollaways, which I've had several, they do not bolt the casters just to the sheet metal like these cheap Craftsman. Those casters are bolted to steel plates. So you cannot leave the casters sitting there on that sheet metal, and they're not even screwed down. They don't bolt those down at the factory. You got to get good casters and put this board on there and be done with it. Otherwise, it's just going to come back to haunt you. You're going to have to do it sooner or later, or you're going to have to spend hundreds to get a quality box.